Yeah, you can go ahead and tip jar this one for me, too, please. Thank you.
As this one swung on, and that's hit to deep right, and she's going to fly as well. Oh, man, it's a home run derby here in Arlington. Perdomo, his 12th of the season, and they are just blowing the doors off of Aldi. It's 5-0 in the third.
Makes me so sad. It's like a time machine, Kellan. It's like going back in time and going, man, they were beating Nathan Eovaldi 5-0. They had home runs from Corbin, Carroll, and Tyler Locklear and Geraldo Perdomo, as you just heard there. And it all ended so poorly. I just wish we could go back in time and just be like, hey, they're 5-0 and everything's okay. Geraldo Perdomo, part of the onslaught last night. Diamondbacks, of course, lost that game. Ryan Nelson gave up a big home run, and then the bullpen couldn't hold it in the ninth and in extra innings. But if you're looking for good news, the Geraldo Perdomo breakout season continues. Certainly money well spent in the offseason by the organization, and you can't say that about every single guy they gave a contract to. There are question marks with a bunch of them. But Geraldo Perdomo certainly has been money well spent for the Diamondbacks organization.
Yeah, he absolutely has, to the point where he's having a breakout year, and it's one of those balancing acts that baseball as a sport especially deals with inside of the analytics and all that kind of stuff, where you look at it as either like this is going to be like his best year or this is the start of something that we should start to get used to. And I think it's more of that, if I'm being honest, because you look at the way that he's incrementally or sizably improved every year since he got in the majors. It's to that level. This year, he's just flat out been one of the best shortstops in baseball. I tweeted out some of the stats yesterday. Entering today, he's third in WAR. He was first in RBIs, first in walks, first in on-base percentage, fifth in hits, fifth in OPS, sixth in average. And if you look at the WAR standings specifically, you can believe in the metric, not believe in it, whatever. The point being, Geraldo Perdomo ranks ahead of guys like Elly De La Cruz, Corey Seager, Gunnar Henderson, Francisco Lindor, Bo Bichette, Xander Bogaerts, Willie Adames, Dansby Swanson, Mookie Betts, Carlos Correa. He has been a better player than a lot of those guys, I would argue, and if you believe this metric, all of them. Like Bobby Witt and Trey Turner are the three guys, and Perdomo have really been the three guys playing at a level above everyone else. Jeremy Pena as well in Houston's having an outstanding
Wait, who are the guys?
year.
Bobby Witt?
Trey Turner
in
Philly, and then Jeremy Pena is like ranked around similarly where he's at in Houston. He's having a very good year, but those are all of the guys that he is outperforming. Like, it's one of the deepest positions in the sport, if not the deepest, and he is separating himself this year, and that in turn can change how you think about this baseball team going forward, because none of us had this on our prediction sheet going into this season, that this would be a breakout year for Geraldo Perdomo where he could bring in 100 runs, rack up 100 RBIs, and be a difference maker offensively the way that he has this
Not
year.
like this. I think if you had told me that Geraldo Perdomo is going to be one of the Diamondbacks' better players this year, sure, I would have bought it. And WAR, we're not going to sit here and debate WAR. I like WAR. It's like a lot of these. It's a tool. It's an interesting tool. He leads the team in wins above replacement among position players and position players, in addition to where he ranks among. So I think it's one way to certainly tell the story about Perdomo. No, I wouldn't have had this on the bingo card. And yes, I do think that he is part of a core that really makes me wonder what next year's gonna look like for the Diamondbacks. And when you were filling in for Gambo when he was off, traipsing around Europe earlier in the summer, we had a lot of conversations about, what the next iteration of a good Diamondbacks team is going to look at. And we were talking about it going into the deadline and how do you make trades to keep this going? Can you keep this going? And specifically, we had a conversation, and I remember very well, about what window are you trying to cater to if you're Mike Hazen? Are you trying to cater to the Ketel Marte window, the one that maybe only has a year or two left in it, and you need to load up now? Or are you catering to the Corbin Carroll window, the one that it might not be as strong next year, but it's certainly got longevity to it, right? Like, it certainly can last 5, 6, 7, 8 years. And I think Perdomo, while he fits in both, certainly lends a lot of credence to the Corbin Carroll window. But maybe you don't need to be great next year, but you should certainly be good for at least the next half decade when you've got a core of Corbin, Carroll, and Geraldo Perdomo in the middle of it.
Conveniently, ESPN released their MLB rank, and again, this is like war where like you're ranking players and everyone's going to disagree on like where certain guys are at. But if you look at the teams with 2 position players in the top 20, like the top 20 players in baseball, you're looking at position players. 3 teams have 2 guys. It's the Cubs, it's the Dodgers, and it's the Diamondbacks. Corbin Carroll's 18th on this list. Ketel Marte is 20th, and those 3 teams have 2 guys that could be in the running for MVP pretty much any year. Like that's what that sort of ranking solidifies. Geraldo Perdomo is 44th on this list. They view him as a top 50 player in baseball this year. And that's sort of the gap that was always going to be there, it felt like, going into the year. And part of why there's so much importance on Jordan Lawler and how he looks for the rest of this year and next year as well, because of the star potential that he has among the position players that is absent with everyone else outside of Carroll and outside of Marte. I'm not saying that Geraldo Perdomo is going to win 5 Silver Sluggers at shortstop and he's going to make 10 All-Star games after this year, but there is a maximum ceiling that he has shown this year to be one of the best players at his position that we did not know going into the year. So if you look at like the output that they could get from their position players, you can win a lot of games even with substandard pitching if you have Carroll playing at an elite level, Marte playing at an elite level, and Perdomo playing at an elite level. Unless you have a bullpen like you do this year, apparently, because that's what we're watching this year.
Right.
And then it makes you kind of re-question why you're thinking this in 2026 when we just watched it this year.
And it's conversations like this that make me wonder. And I saw the quotes from Derek Hall that he gave to Nick Piccolo late last week. We talked about it a little on the show. It's conversations like this that make me wonder, like if I'm Ken Kendrick, okay, I understand I'm going to take a loss in 2025. I'm going to take a loss at the gates in 2025. I spent a lot of my roster and they didn't deliver for me. But if you're talking, and if I'm Mike Hazen and I'm pitching Ken Kendrick and Derek Hall on continuing to spend, maybe not at the $200 million level, but certainly at a high level, that's my pitch, right? My elevator pitch to Derek and Ken is going to be, hey guys, I don't know if you know this, we got 3 of the best 50 position players in all of baseball. We have to go for this, right? Like we are compelled to take advantage of the fact. Now, what they're going to do with Ketel in the offseason, I don't know. There's some grumblings about whether they could listen to offers and move him and things like that and his, overall commitment to the program. Okay, let's set that off to the side for a second. But my elevator pitch to Derek and to Ken is I've got 3 of the 50 best players in baseball. We have to go for this, right? Like we have to keep this going and keep spending, and not many teams have this opportunity. I just don't know if they'll spend to the levels that they have the last couple of years because of getting burned this year, even though everything about it says they should keep this rolling.
If Perdomo plays this way again next year, though, to your point on the extension, $6.5 million that he's making next year and then $9 million the year after that. Like this could be another Hazen masterclass in terms of the extension and when he signed it. I know the Fott deal isn't going so well this year. I know that the Erod deal isn't going great this year, but he's had some strokes of genius in other areas for sure.
The one guy that I've been waiting to join this club, and I'm starting to wonder whether it's going to happen or not, is Gabby.
Yeah.
I always thought Gabby was going to join this little. I didn't think Perdomo was going to join it like this, but I always thought Gabby was going to establish himself as sort of I'm part of this conversation too. He's been hurt, but it really hasn't happened, has it?
Well, he's just always had an injury pop up that's keeping him out a month or 6 weeks, and some of it's bad luck, but at the same time, it's just been happening a lot in his career so far.
Yeah, not for him.
Thanks for watching Burns and Gambo. Click to see more from the guys and hit the button in the middle to subscribe so you never miss a video from Arizona sports.